So you're about to be exposed to how exactly I run Facebook ads profitably, and you will learn step by step the whole guide. So even if you're a beginner, by the end of this video, you will learn how to run Facebook ads like a master. I'm gonna give you the strategy, I'm gonna give you the system, I'm gonna give you everything I've learned in the past 3 years so that you can succeed working as a media buyer, and ideally you can make 3-4K a month so that you can jump in my program, in my coaching, and then we can scale you up. And if you wonder why you should listen to me because I have like a messy room and stuff like that, well, I spent over $3 million on Facebook ads. Last month for myself, I made $10,000 in profit working as a media buyer. And so again, the purpose of this video is just to help you out so you can do the same. So let's get started on how you can actually run your first campaign and how you can actually use this knowledge to work as a remote media buyer for marketing agencies. And to even further prove that, I actually want to show you a live ad account of one of my clients. As you can see, in the month of November, I spent around $11,000, got back $91,000 for an average ROAS of 8 and 24, okay? So trust me, I know what I'm talking about, and the reason why I'm making this video is because I know there is a lot of confusion about running paid ads on Facebook, so I wanna make it clear for everyone. All right, so let's get started. So obviously this is the ads manager, this is the dashboard, that's what you're first gonna see once you start running ads for clients or agencies or whatever you're in. And that's where you're gonna spend 90% of your time working as a media buyer. So there are a few different key elements here. As you can see, there are different tabs called campaigns, ad set, and ad. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean in a second. But most importantly, we have this green button right here that says create. And here is where we're gonna create our marketing campaigns that are gonna be shown on Facebook and Instagram. So all we have to do really is click create. And as you can see, a pop-up will show up and we have 6 different options. Now, you don't have to care about anything else but leads and sales. Obviously, sales is for e-commerce. So if your client is an e-commerce brand, you want to do sales. And leads is for people that are running leads campaign. That can be, for example, coaching consultant. It can be like a local business. It can be a SaaS business. Anything that essentially is related to leads, you want to use this objective. Anything that is not leads and most likely is e-commerce, you want to use. So let's say you actually want to run an e-commerce campaign because I feel like 70% of you probably are going to run with e-commerce accounts. I'm just going to click continue. And here, the first thing that we're going to see is that we can choose between Advantage Shopping campaign and manual. And always go for manual. Advantage Shopping is the new AI feature that Facebook released. And although sometimes it's great, I still prefer to go with manual simply because you got more control. This is something you can use for scaling once you already have created that really works. But at the beginning, you just want to stick with this. And as you can see here, now we have 3 different layers. We have campaign, ad set, and ad. So the campaign level is the bigger umbrella. That's where everything essentially is under. And that's where you can actually create your campaigns, give it a name and stuff like that. Furthermore, here you can actually decide whether to use a CBO versus ABO. CBO means that the budget is going to be stored at the campaign level, whereas ABO means that every single asset is going to manually decide where to spend money. And so if you're brand new, I would just suggest to start with ABO. So you're going to take this one off. And then we're going to move towards the ad set. So here is actually where you can decide your targeting. And we also have to decide which pixel you're using. And the pixel essentially is the little tracking software that you're using in order to track people that made a specific action on your website. That's how you know how many purchases you're getting, how many leads you're getting, and stuff like that. And so as you can see here, for example, I have my pixel is already selected. And then I can select the conversion event that I want to optimize for. Obviously, we pick sales, so the event that we want to optimize for is purchase. This is always the event that you want to optimize for. If we have picked leads, the event that we want to optimize for is lead, okay? This is super important. You don't have to run any other conversion event but those 2. Also here, you can decide whether to do just like website or website shop. If you live in the United States, you also have the possibility to check out directly from the shop. So I strongly suggest to use this one. Otherwise, if I'm Europe and you're just targeting Europe, just stick to website. Here is where you put your daily budget, so how much Facebook is willing to spend, so how much you're willing to spend every single day. And in here, as you can see, you can actually find your countries that you want to target. In this case, the United States. And this one is where you actually select your targeting option. So if I click the hyperlink here, you can see that I'm able now to actually select different countries, for example, that I want, different age, gender, and even interest based on whatever. So for example, I can pick football. And so as you can see here, for example, it's just gonna now targeting people that are into football. However, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This option of the interest is most likely updated because Facebook hasn't really updated their target interest in literally like years at this point. So what I do most of the time really, and what you should also do, is just running broad. So literally like this, you're gonna just select the country you want to target. Perhaps you can do age and gender if, for example, you're selling a specific product for specific people. Otherwise, you can just leave it open like I am, 18 plus, 65 plus, all genders. And that's it. The reason why this works nowadays, because back then it didn't use to work, is because Facebook is pretty smart. And therefore, your ad, and the ad essentially is this level right here, actually is doing the targeting for you, meaning that whatever video creative, like images, copy that we're gonna see in a second, we're gonna upload, Facebook is gonna use its machine learning to actually pick up on that and understand who is most likely to convert based on the product or service that you're selling. In other words, Facebook is very, very smart, and you don't really need, like back in 2019, 1,000 different interests, try to understand which one works. Most likely, if you go broad like this, no interest, nothing, you're still gonna be able to succeed as long as your creatives and your message. Then here you can also select placement. Sometimes I just like to do manual placement, and I just get rid of anything that I don't find interesting. So for example, I just usually leave here the feed, the stories and the reels, and everything else, I really don't use it whatsoever. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. Then we're gonna click next. And here essentially is our ad level. So is the creative, that's what people are gonna see. And this is the most important layer of your whole campaign, okay? This is key, guys. Like, that's where money is made. The targeting, the campaign, yeah, it's good. You can do CBO versus ABO. You can do a few interest targeting. You can do lookalikes, whatever. But really, 80% of the results is going to be here in the ad. If you can crack the ad, you're going to make unlimited money. That's how powerful this is. And I could make like a total new course and total new video about how to craft the perfect ad for the perfect niche and stuff like that, but that will take literally like an hour. And in this video specifically, what I actually want to show you is the technical side of things. So how you can actually launch your first campaign. Even because most of the time, when you work with an agency, for example, they already have creatives. So you don't even have to come up with the creatives. All you have to do really is making sure that the creatives are placed here. Okay, I'm gonna show you how in a second, and then just launch them. Simple as that, okay? Super, super simple. So like I said earlier, this is the ad level, okay? And that's where we're gonna upload our video, images, and our copy, so our text. So you have different options. You can see here, you go single image or video, which is the one that you're gonna use most of the time. You go carousel, and carousel essentially is like is like different pictures, like one next to another. I don't know if you ever see it like on Facebook and Instagram, but essentially you go like different picture on the right side, and then you can just like scroll them through. So this is great, for example, if you're selling watches or if you're selling clothing, because then people can just see different products all in once, for example. Whereas if you're selling a single product, usually using like the single image or video is better. And then we have collection. This is not really that used, but it's very similar to carousel, with the only difference that instead of having like all the product in one specific feed and then you can just scroll it, you actually gonna click on that and then it's gonna open a new page and then you can actually scroll down all the product. So it's very similar to carousel. It's just like slightly different in terms of layout. And those two are great if you're running, again, a fashion brand. I think this is probably where you want to go, even because you can actually dynamically pull all the products, so you don't have to manually create ads. If you connect your Shopify to Facebook, which you can by downloading the Facebook and Instagram app on your Shopify, you will be able to sync your catalog with Facebook. And so automatically your product that you have in your Shopify store, they're gonna be uploaded into Facebook, and in this way you can just advertise it. And I kid you not, for fashion brand, mostly this is all I use, and the ROAS was absolutely great. It was like 3 to 5x, which is mad. It's absolutely insane. And so that's all you have to do, really. But if you work with any other brand that is just like selling a single product or whatever, then probably single images or video is the way to go. And here is where we're actually gonna upload our creative. So if I do, for example, images, I can upload an image. Obviously, if I do video, I can upload a video. And so here, you're just gonna leave it broad, doesn't really matter, don't worry about this. You're gonna go straight into text, and that's where you're gonna put your primary text, your headline, and your description. Now, when it comes to the primary text, you can actually use ChatGPT to create the primary text. So if I take, for example, any brand, okay, let's do, for example, Gymshark. So let's say I'm a media buyer for Gymshark. Okay, I wish I was a media buyer for Gymshark, but let's say I'm a media buyer from Gymshark and now I have to do a copy from Gymshark. I'm not even gonna waste my brain power to do it, because people still not gonna really read the copy. Most likely they're just gonna stick on the image or video. So all I'm gonna do is go to ChatGPT. I'm gonna go with this specific copywriting bot that you can find in the template section right here. And it's called Copywriting GPT Marketing Branding Ads. And I'm just gonna ask him to create a copy for me. So I'm gonna say, create me As you can see, I just typed, please create me a Facebook ads copy for this brand. I just drop the link and I'm just gonna please enter. And then automatically the machine is gonna create a copy for me. Now from here, as you can see, I have different options. I can humanize it, I can make it better for SEO, or I can even give more direction. For example, I can say, make it more direct response and more human. And I'm just gonna click enter. Okay, and boom, we got a copy. So all I have to do really is just take this, come back to my ads manager and just paste it. Same thing with the headline. I can also ask ChatGPT to just make one, or I can just manually create one, whatever. So I'm just gonna ask him to make an headline now. Boom, we also go our headline. I'm just gonna paste it. Description, usually just leave it blank because I prefer using a longer headline rather than actually have description. And then I can click next and go to media. And that's where I'm actually gonna upload my image or video. So again, let's say for example, I'm in Gymshark, I sell like clothing brand, whatever. In this case, maybe I can just download one picture from their store. I can just click upload. I can take the pictures that I just downloaded, upload it to the ads manager, and then just click next. I'm gonna make sure that everything is cropped correctly, which in this case it is. And in here, for example, you can actually decide to use different formats. So as you can see, I can pick the original one. And so this means that automatically it's gonna fit to the original size, or I can do 916. And I can even crop it manually. So I wanna center perhaps, make it a little bit better. Always make sure that the product is center. Click apply, and now you can see this is optimized for the stories, whereas this one is optimized for the feed. I'm gonna click next. And these are all the optimization that Facebook usually does by default when it comes to the enhancement. And I'm not a huge fan of some of them, but I know that by having them on, usually my CPM, so my cost to actually reach 1,000 people is lower. So in this case, I'm just gonna leave them on. I'm gonna click next, and boom, that's it, guys. Your ad is done. All you have to do now is actually take in the website where you want to send those people to when they click the ad. And so for example, I can take this product page here with this product, since that's the one I'm advertising, and I just copy and paste it here. And that's it. You already create your first campaign. If you click publish right now, your campaign is gonna start running, it's gonna start spending. And every single time someone make a purchase, you can actually see that on the ads manager. And by default, you don't have any columns that are set. So what you have to do is go in here where you say columns, you're gonna do customize columns, and you're gonna find purchase. And you're gonna do total, value, and cost, and you're also gonna do ROAS. Also click apply, and as you can see here, I have purchase, purchase value, purchase cost, and purchase ROAS. So the purchase here is gonna show how many people actually bought the product. So that can be, for example, 10 people, whatever. Purchase value is how much they have spent collectively, so in total. Cost per purchase, how much a single purchase is costing me. And obviously you just want to be profitable. So if you're selling a product at $50, ideally your cost per purchase is like $20, which means that you have $30 gross profit from the ads. And then obviously you have to take away like the cost of the product itself and stuff like that. But this is something that is kind of different from brand to brand. And then the ROAS is the return on ad spend. And this is like a vital metric. Essentially here, you're going to be able to understand how much money you actually bringing in terms of return on ad spend. So for example, if you spend $20 to get one purchase and your product costs $40, that's a ROAS of 2 because you have to do 40 divided by 20. That's 2. And usually you kind of want to speak with your clients to understand what's the break-even ROAS. And so when you actually are able to scale an ad or a campaign, kind of depends on how you want to see it. And that's like the most important metric really is the ROAS, because at the end of the day, we don't want clicks, we don't want impression, we just want a return on ad spend that is profitable for the brand. We want to make sure that we make money. And this is the most important metric. Everything else doesn't matter. Now you can also look at other metrics like CPC, for example, CTR. These are secondary metric. That's how I call them. Because with the CTR, essentially, it means how many people are clicking on your ad as a percentage. So out of 100 people, how many people are clicking your ad? And ideally, it kind of depends on the niche you're in, but ideally you can have a CTR of 2%. Apologize. And CPC is cost per click. And that obviously depends a lot on the countries that you're targeting. Because for example, countries like Europe are much cheaper compared to United States. So if I target Italy, maybe a cost per click is like 40 cents, 50 cents. Whereas if I target United States, the cost per click is $2. However, the purchase power in United States is much greater, which means that even if I pay a click $2, it might still be profitable simply because the purchase power is greater and the conversion rate is greater compared to a country like Italy where the purchase power is lower and people simply don't trust as much buying online, and therefore my conversion rate is going to be lower. Okay, and so as a media buyer, really, you just have to look now at those numbers once you launch a campaign and decide what to scale or what to scale. So if this ad, for example, is not doing well, I'm just going to kill it and I'm going to launch a new one. Now, ideally, you also running multiple ads at once. So this is one ad set, okay, with one campaign, but you want to have at least 3 creatives per ad set. You don't want to run singularly unless you're making a creative testing. If you're making creative testing, the way I personally do it is by duplicating the asset here. And so each asset is going to have 1 creative. And then let's say I have 5 assets. So it means that I have 5 creative, 1 per asset. I'm just going to let them run for 3 days. I'm going to see which creative works the best and therefore which asset works the best. I'm going to take that and then I'm going to scale it up, right? And usually I just duplicate a new campaign and just scale it to like $100 per day, $200 per day, whatever it might be. And then I try to find some more variants. So I'm gonna go to the agent and say, hey guys, can you please give me some more variation of that specific ad because it's really working? And I'm gonna try to split test essentially A/B those two creatives to see which one works the best. And guys, it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science when it comes to like launching a campaign. Obviously, there are a little bit more key elements involved, but this is really the basic. Like if you know this stuff, you already know how to launch your first campaign, and you can potentially already get paid from like an agency to run those campaigns because that's the fundamental. So this being said, I have actually a program where I'm teaching you how to become a highly paid media buyers. I have like 60 plus models inside. So if you want, you can just click the link below, and there is actually a part of the course that is completely free. So you can just, it's like 15 videos, I think, something like that, completely for free. You can just like click that, look at it, see whatever you want. And then if you want, you can actually upgrade to the premium version, obviously. Otherwise, you can just stick with the free version. Hopefully that will be enough for you to close 1 or 2 clients, and then you come back and you invest into the program once you want to scale further. All right. This being said, guys, was a pleasure to be here. Again, if you just apply those things, I'm sure this is more than enough at the beginning to run your first campaign, and we're going to catch up in the next one.